Yo, everyone, welcome. So it's Toe of God Wednesdays as per usual, but I guess depending on when this video goes up, it might be Thursday or Friday. So technicalities, I guess. But welcome back, everyone. Today we'll be reacting to Toe of God episode 9. Of course, last time we left off, I believe we're still in the tag game for the most part. Team B had started, and we had some developments with Endorsey and all that jazz and blues and yada yada yada. Now, hopefully, this episode isn't as dark as the last one in the sense of just the backgrounds that are used in the episode. Because since I have my channel banner across the footage just to kind of avoid copyright, then it kind of defeats the purpose if you can't see what I'm reacting to, I guess. So that's all I'm saying. But anyway, of course, be sure to rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about my reaction. Hopefully, this episode is live reaction worthy. So yeah, let's get right into it. Oh, that sucks.
毎日毎日女の子はパンをかじりながら姉たちが食べるごちそうの味が知りたいと思っていました。そしてある日を境に全てのごちそうを独り占めできるようになりましたとさ。めでたしめでたし。
何言ってんだこいつ。
まだわからないのおバカさん。
Yep. So it repeats itself. One just come out of the shadows so suddenly somewhere.
ハツたちに合流しましょう。少しでも時間。目にはエンドロさん。
油断したな、ザハードの姫。なるまだ始動。
Is that part of the is that part of the 13-month series?
こいつが本気になればあっという間に俺など殺せる。一度掴んだものは離さぬ。今だ、やりつかいレボリューションズ。
Seriously? The man them veil upon hats, dog. What kind of foolishness this my youth? Dog, I can't believe this my youth.
気分悪いな。裏切り者の寄せ集めチームか。
Dog, I can't believe so the man them just... like a delayed reaction? Oh, it was freezing.
こうやって神の水を一気に相手の体に送り込むんだ。あいつに食らわせれば女を助ける隙ができる。悔しかったら真似してみよう。君を選んだ。王さん、もう全部終わったんだ。
Honestly, if Ho get disqualified or him dead, it really matters still. But he would have served his purpose.
もしかしてあのリストですか。紙切れにサインしただけなのに。僕はそう力が勝つ。
Like, what's everybody just spouting out their backstory for this episode, dog? Like, or at least from in the last episode. This is wild to me. I don't know if I like or hate it just yet, but
そう、本当は塔を登るために彼女を消そうとしたんじゃない。ただ、どうしても。夜さん。 あなたが憎かった。やめろ！バラ！
seriously?
父さん！ねえ、何なの？一体どうなってるの？死
じゃダメだ。
No, like...
もう死んでる。
I felt like there could have been more build.
なんでこんなことに。裏切った様は試験官。ここでは俺が神。
Yo.
始めましょう。
バッジは
ここよ。
姫の心まで奪っちまうとはまったく罪な男だね俺も。
何人のパンツ握りしめて夢みたいなこと語ってんの？
Wait, what?
私のバッジはここ。そしてあなたのバッジはここ。
Oh, yeah, that's it.
このテスト、リーチームの勝利。テスト結果は翌朝改めて通達する。無口は！B チームの勝利？マジかよ。
So, episode 9 of Tower of God. I personally think it's been, out of this week's episode and last week's episode, definitely the better one. Off the top of my head, just coming off the reaction, I love the fact that Bam's naive nature is basically tested with this episode. I mean, through his interactions with Endorsi in this episode and the whole situation with Hao and Raquel, he gets to see that climbing the tower isn't as straightforward as he believed it to be, at least. Or at least his way of doing things was kind of misguided in terms of just making friends and just climbing the tower, and, you know, the whole morally good standpoint or, you know, traits that he shows may not be enough. Granted, I still like at the end of the day that he sticks to his beliefs in this episode in terms of how he believes that person should operate in climbing the tower. Of course, that all makes for, like, kind of still adds to the whole build-up of him eventually doing a 180 in his character, which I've been speculating and predicting from episode 1, so that in itself wasn't a problem. That in addition with the whole idea of, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say force, but more or less it is what it is in terms of Bam pushing his wants and what he wants to do onto Raquel, even though Raquel may not want that. It definitely gives me that Naruto Sasuke vibe, but given the nature of the series so far, I would imagine it's not going to end up like a Naruto and Sasuke situation where, you know, he's definitely going to get back Raquel, but rather he himself is going to add to the weight of when he actually turns and, you know, as I keep predicting, becomes a more savage character, more or less, is what I'm saying. So that's the kind of thing I'm kind of expecting. So a lot of things in this episode kind of builds and adds to that checklist, or that that bottle of, I guess, Bam's breaking point in this. So that's what I like about this episode. Now, the funny parts are the stupid. Yo, the part that really grinded my gears was the whole part with Hats, and the man them really decided to just leave him, even though the man decides, yo, he's going to steer, he's going to go up against the ranker, and the man them just bail upon Hats, and Hats was no justice for him this episode. So there was that. The next thing that I mentioned during the reaction was the whole point that characters are getting into this trend of just suddenly spouting out their backstory, and even to this point in the video, I'm not sure it's something I hate or like, or if I can use it to really take away or add on to the episode. Even though thinking about it now, I can more so add on to the episode, I'd say, because, you know, I'm a kind of more of a show don't tell kind of person when it comes down to watching anime, just to ensure like doing things that way kind of allows the audience to kind of more so emotionally resonate with it, instead of just telling us X or Y. But in some cases, for example, Endorsi in this episode, obviously the point she was trying to make with her story her backstory there was that she'll do anything to actually climb the tower. So her just spouting out the backstory makes sense there. But I hope it doesn't become a trend that person just suddenly start pumping out their backstory for like out of the blues, more or less. And not that it was out of the blues, but you get what I mean. Because even in House case in this episode, where he was basically saying that, yo, everything was taken from him. He believes strength is the way, and if the tower isn't going to choose him, then it's like, forget. Honestly, you based on the previous few episodes, you could see the build up with how his frustration, but I think, I don't know, I feel like there should have been more build up. You know, I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but more build up. The fights in itself this episode were pretty decent. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it was more of the characters and how their beliefs will tie in back to Bam eventually breaking, I'd say. I know I keep saying this like I know it's going to happen, but it just seems kind of predictable in a good way for Bam's character, for his character to eventually break and become a savage, as I call it. So yeah, that's just me still. If I'm wrong at the end of the day, I guess some points can be taken away from these reviews that I'm doing right here. So there's definitely that. Of course, the mystery beyond with Bam himself continues as he continues to display a ridiculous amount of skill and ability. This episode we see him copying the Ranka, which, I mean, it seems like I wouldn't say it's a basic move, but I mean, he basically just copied the the ability from him. And I don't know. The mystery continues to build the suspense because we still don't know who sent how the letter, even though I'm suspecting it's the director of the test, that blonde hair guy, maybe. So yeah, maybe that would be the case. But I like how they also clarify in this episode. Basically it's kind of like a follow-up from last episode where Dorsey said like, yo, even though we've basically been placed in teams where they're still competing against each other for the position test that they've been doing all along. So I guess that kind of confirms and solidifies why Kun did what he did to help out this team in the grand scheme of things, especially since a lot of persons from Team A are basically in the pass zone already. So yeah, that was good in terms of tying things back up in a subtle way from last episode. But yeah, but all in all, I thought this episode was pretty good. Definitely liked it. Definitely continues to build on the character of Bam by having him experience the morals and the the lens that other characters will go to achieve their goals. I'm sure that's going to be tying back into his character in the long run, and that's pretty much, even though it's not something that really paid off in this episode, considering that Bam decides to stick to what he wants to do, and then Dorsey even encourages that towards the end of the episode for the most part. I think it is a slow burn kind of thing where we'll see the payoff in the long run. So for the most part, for right now, this episode was good. Well, maybe even great, if I do say so myself. But yeah, I guess we'll see if things really pay off in the long run. But anyway, Sanju Uchiha here, people. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. Of course, hope all of you are doing well out there in this pandemic time. Of course, also we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers, so hopefully we can reach that milestone before the end of the year. I mean, if we make it to the end of the year. Dark jokes aside, I hope everyone's great. So yeah, rate, comment, subscribe. Of course, check out all the other videos on the channel if you wish. And I'll see you guys in the next one.